Hey everybody, it's Ardell Joseph of Ardell Joseph Wealth Coaching. Today we're going to talk about FinTOch 2.0, guys. How do you reap monster rewards, monster team rewards with V2 liquidity pool? Let's go first into the FinTOch app. Ooh, love to hear that sound when FinTOch opens. So yesterday, guys, I've added two. And when I say two, I mean only two direct referrals. And the way we find those direct referrals is we go into profit. And if you don't know what profit is, it's at the bottom center of the screen. And for those two direct referrals that I added into the liquidity pool, those two will be right here under subordinates. So we're required to have 5 in order to achieve rank, but so far only 2. So I'm going to click on that and I'll show you here in the top right. You'll see those 2 direct referrals under the referral liquidity. Now these are persons who have already been in FinTOch 1.0, great lending program where we saw 1%. But guys, 1% daily are the things of the past. I'm telling you, we currently have these 2 persons yesterday that added liquidity, and it's not a whole lot of liquidity. And there are others in the team that also added some liquidity. And how do I know that? I'll go back and you'll see right here on the left hand side that some team members, and this is only roughly about $2,600. I know that persons within 3-month period in FinTOch 1.0 brought in a lot more than that. But guys, with the FTC coin now public, FinTOch having a very powerful blockchain. You know, we have our mainnet that produces these FTC coins, and if you wanted to actually see that exchange, you click here in the middle where it says exchange, and you can actually see where the coin is trading live. We have a tracking chart. We also can show you that the FTC has a market cap value that's growing, and the current price of FTC is $361 in the open market. There are other ways to track it as well, but I'm showing you everything within the FinTOch app, everything within the app. Now you're here today because I want to show you exactly how I got paid. Now I've only personally had 2 liquidity providers, or added 2. The team just has, a very small number, maybe roughly 12. In fact, I'll show you the number of team members adding to that liquidity. Okay, so we go over here to the left and we say the team. Down here also you can look at the team, but here on the left you see the team, right? That's the liquidity. You click on that and it shows you here in this area. In this area it says liquidity added. If you notice over on the right, liquidity not added. So I want to go to liquidity added, and as you can see, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 persons so far have added liquidity, and that accounts for possibly the minimum amount because we're talking about existing members. But guys, I'm going to tell you, I figured out that these liquidity pools are very powerful. This current liquidity pool that we're in, with just a very small amount of investment, let's call it about 1/10 of the current price of the token. So if it's trading at $360, you're looking at $36, and or we'll say 20% of the current value, because you'll have to then double that 1/10 because you're matching the zero point 0.1 FTC with roughly 0.1, roughly the same amount in equivalent value in USDT to make up the currency pair, which will be FTC and USDT BEP20, and that is sufficient. So let's say you have a new person coming in and they want to put $1,000 into the system to benefit from an APR or APY, annual percent, and the way you work that out is let's say you have an annual percent return of 70%. You take your calculator and you say, okay, 70% on, so let's say $1,000 times 0.7, 70% of that is 700. And with 7% of that being 700, whatever that percent yield is, 700 over out of 1,000, that's 0.7. So that's what you're going to use to multiply by 365 days. So if you didn't catch that, I can take you over here to my trust wallet and I can show you here. I do have one particular pair that's trading, and you can see right here, this is in the liquidity pool. And if I go to the pancake swap, I can open up the pancake swap and you see that I have V2 liquidity in here. If I go to trade and I look at liquidity, here is a pair that's already established, right? It's right here in the middle. This is a liquidity member that's already functioning. And if I click on this, it'll show me the details. And what I'm speaking about is the LP reward annual percent rate for this particular pair. Now, notice right here, it gives me the rate 45.99% is my yield. And currently in liquidity, I have a total of 70, which is half of that is FTC that you're seeing right here, and half of that is USDT, which you're seeing right here. So if we're looking at my total investment here, 70 bucks and a 45.99%, this is 45.99% of my total investment, and you multiply that by 365 days, right? Every single day you get that multiplied by 365 days, and that gives you your total yield for the year, which is absolutely phenomenal. So my share in the pool is also there, and if I wanted to add more liquidity, I can just go right here and I can click on that, and it adds more liquidity for me. So it's absolutely phenomenal. Now I'm going to go back over to the FINTOCH app just to show you guys what I actually earn, right? So top right of the screen, you're going to see team reward right here. And this is just since yesterday. I've only started yesterday, right? Team reward, I click on that. But if you notice at the top right of the screen, at the very top right of the screen, it says reward rules. This is very important and very powerful. We'll get to that in a minute. Guys, guess what? I can literally withdraw. See that? I can withdraw my rewards. If I go here and I click on rewards withdrawal, and this is daily, guys. This is daily withdrawal of your rewards. You click on that, you enter the amount, you hit extract. I'm going to leave that, let that build up for a little bit. Just like in FINTOCH 1.0, there's a 5% fee, but this is where you make daily income in FINTOCH, guys. Daily income. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to click on the reward rules just to explain how these rules work. And what it does is it launches like a mini liquidity reward guideline. Just like in FINTOCH 1.0, we now have FINTOCH 2.0, and it says users need to add a minimum of 0.1 FTC liquidity and recommend a valid user who adds FTC/USDT, that's a trading pair liquidity, or a user indirectly recommended. So that's persons that you brought on board yourself or persons brought on board by other team members, guys. And then their management levels. Some of us are familiar with the 1.0 release of FINTOCH, where many millionaires were made, guys. So here's the peer-to-peer income explanation. If a user invites a subordinate, that's another person, at the same management level as themselves, they can enjoy 20% of the earnings of the same level subordinate users. Now it goes into more detail there, but I want to really get down to the reward guidelines, guys. And I'm not going to go through all of them. Let's get everybody at least to the VP level, right? Those are the first two levels in the organization. So everyone at this point considered regular users, and we're adding liquidity, guys. We're adding liquidity. Don't forget, most of us who have been godfathered into FinTOCH 2.0 are basically, we're like early shareholders in the blockchain. We have subscribed to nodes. There's so many persons in the world who want to make daily yield using a system that's fully decentralized, and this is what we have here, because you're basically in essence staking your USDT, and it's going into a pool, a liquidity pool supporting the FTC token, which is a token of this blockchain. And as more and more traders and investors see the value there, the price of FTC should theoretically rise over time. So we're really early into the game. You want to let as many people as possible know about this gem that you have here, and then they're going to bring new liquidity. You can add more if you intended previously to get a node. Guess what? This is like having a node on steroids, because the more liquidity that you add, the higher your percentage within that pool will be. So it's not a steady percentage, it's a higher percentage, and there are scales that you can look at. Just want to give that basic information. So regular users, guys, and we're looking in this section here of this presentation. So regular users right up here, all of this area here I'm looking at, I'm just going to be in this area right here. Okay, so regular users. Now it says here, directly refer a valid user who adds FTC/USDT liquidity. That's what we did just yesterday, and we'll have more tutorials for the team and new persons coming in. Also, regular users are indirectly refer a valid user who adds FTC. So that's me personally going and bringing new users to the platform, or that's also existing members bringing new persons, and they're all going to be to your credit. And continuing over under the requirements to say the liquidity itself needs to be added minimally by 0.1 of the current value of FTC. So FTC trading at 360, then your FTC should be $36. You have to match that with an equal amount of USDT, and it's all BEP20. Okay, if you don't know about blockchain, you don't know about crypto, we hold you by the hand and show you how it's done. But now we're over on the right hand side, and I want you to pay very close attention to the liquidity reward, guys. The liquidity reward is very, very powerful. Listen to this: 0.15% of the liquidity amount added by the referred user. So when you are the referrer, guys, you're going to get 0.15%. That's very, very powerful. Do you know what that is, guys? And that's daily pay. So if you have 0.15 and you divide it by 100, that's 0.0015, right? So remember that, 0.0015. So 1,000 times 0.0015, that is 1.5, right? That's 1.5 every single day. That's what you get. Now, remember, the cumulative effect of that is very, very powerful. And I'm going to show you why here in a second, right? Now, check this out. It's going to get very powerful in a minute. The law of compounding, right? So the reason I say that is because when you look at the team segment, right? It says here, up top, those were directly referred. Now we're talking about indirectly referred. So you still get 0.1% of the liquidity amount added by the indirectly referred user. So it all adds up across your entire team. So you're getting 0.15 from those that you personally referred, even if it's only 5 of them, that qualifies you for the next level, which is GM. And now throughout your entire team, I currently only have 300 persons, but I know it's going to grow into the thousands over the next number of years, right? So that's the reason why I want to talk about the ranks, guys. The very first rank, today I'm talking only about the GM and the VP, okay? But the very first rank is GM. And guys, it says here, having 5 directly referred liquidity holding users. And the team's FTT/USDT added amount, that's the liquidity, which reaches 50,000. So you see, I'm at 2,600 today, but all 300 persons have to be activated. Some persons, I know that there are persons who wanted to get the nodes for 15K, 20K. Now we're going back to them and say, okay, everything is set and ready to go. You can come in and participate in the liquidity pool. So if it's 15K you wanted to do, we're going to take 7,500 worth of USDT, 7,500 worth of FTC, and guess what? That now brings more buying and buyers and stability into the FTC coin, guys. I hope you're getting this. Guys, after a while, next week, the following week, it's possible the price of FTC will no longer be at 350. Get your FTC now, guys. Not financial advice, but it is just Ardell with his wealth coaching letting you know that I see where this thing has the potential to go. So listen to the rule. It says the liquidity management level that requires the addition of 0.1. So that means all new persons that you're bringing in or exposing to FINTOCH, they minimally have to have. So today you can bring persons on board for less than $100. We're talking about $36 plus $36. Let's call it 35 and 35. That's 70 bucks. You can find persons who want to establish themselves in this opportunity. Have you ever heard of starting a business for $75, guys? This is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. $70 to get started in a brand new online business in the blockchain. It's unheard of, but it happens today with all new understanding. Let's expose the world to this opportunity. And then they may know some persons who really want to see some APR or AP yield on their assets, and we bring them into the liquidity pool and show them how in a fully decentralized space they can actually earn passively through FinTOCH 2.0. Very, very powerful, because what I really want to show you guys is this right here, the 0.2, the 0.2% of the team liquidity amount. I just showed you today I'm already getting team liquidity, and I want to have 2 of my subordinates, my direct referrals, that have the liquidity. So I'm going to get together with the additional 3 today, hold them by the hand, show them how to get going, and we're going to get this thing rocking, because I want to do some math, guys. So again, here we go. So if we have 0.2, that is 0.2, and we divide that by 100, that lets us know that we're going to be multiplying all of this liquidity by 0.002. All right. So it says to get to GM level, your total team liquidity should be should pass the 50,000 threshold. So let's just put 51,000 in here. All right. And we're going to multiply that by 0.002. Now you get the picture. If it was 50,000, it'll be 100. Guys, guess what? Nothing has changed between FinTOCH 1.0 and FinTOCH 2.0 as far as your qualification. But guess what? Everything has changed. Everything has changed as far as your prospects. Prospects in terms of how much you can earn. The reason why I say this, guys, is because FinTOCH 2.0 still pays you for 50,000 in liquidity volume, and you get paid $100 per day. Guys, finally, we are back. 30 days a month times $100. That's you creating cash flow of $3,000. And guess what, guys? With the law of geometric growth and geometric progression, and as we begin to build this thing, and even as existing members see the need to park additional capital in the DeFi space we're talking about, is going into a liquidity pool on the Binance Smart Chain with a smart contract. That's what you get. Managed on the PancakeSwap platform, a third-party verified trade DeFi trading space. Your money is never held with FinTOCH, and you're earning an APR 50 60, 70%, in some cases over 100%, guys, per year. And that amounts to, hundreds and hundreds of percentages when you multiply that by 365 days per year, right? So the next rank is the VP rank, guys, and we're talking about VP right here. And let's discuss first the individual, and let's also discuss what happens for your team overall and how you're going to actually get paid, right? So again, we're talking about qualification requirements, then the actual requirements, and the liquidity reward. So qualification requirements, you're going to have two GMs. So two of those team members that I'm going to be working with today, I know both of them have been working very hard. So guess what? We support each other. I go out and I help those two to become GMs. They're going to establish 50,000 in volume beneath them. And what do you think is going to happen? 50,000 below each of them. And once the total, hear what it says here, and the total amount of the team cumulative amount is only 150,000 in volume. It says FTC will be assessed daily by the platform itself. Everything is automated. You don't have to check. If the qualifications are not met, the manager will enter a probation period. That's 7 days. If the requirements are still not met after the... So all this is saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that once you hit that rank, you're going to get paid daily. And you have a full 7 days to stabilize the ship. Where in the world do you ever see this happening, guys? FINTOCH is just mind-blowing. And guess what, guys? The lending and borrowing program is not even back yet. We're still expecting that within the first month, the first week of July, guys. So imagine the lending and borrowing at a fixed rate percentage, but then imagine being here in the liquidity pool, guys, that, is basically going to be driven based on the price of the token. But if we have a strong base at around $350 per coin right now, and we see so many millions of users, we used to have over 60 million wallets. So as more and more persons find out what we know now here early, and they start adding their liquidity, let me do some basic math. 300 persons currently, 301 in the team. And if everyone minimally did just $100 to get established, that's 30,000. Do you see how close that is to GM rank, guys? This is what I'm talking about. So GM for me, I'll say is done. It's done. Because all I'll need beyond that is 20K. And what about my buddy who already has 15K on the sideline? And his buddy who's thinking about 50K. We break up that 50 into 50,000 into 25,000 worth of FTC and 25,000 worth of USDT. Put it into the liquidity pool. All 50K is counted towards the qualification. But what do you get for VP, guys? For VP, you get 0.3%. Now, do you see why it's important, guys, to build a team here in FINTOCH? Because it pays extremely well. Let me do the math. Again, how is the math done? Okay, it's simple. You get 0.3. You divide that by 100. So 0.003 is the operator. We know that we should have 150,000 minimum of volume. This is in the liquidity, right? So we times that by 0.003. Now you are looking at $450. Not per week, not per month. Daily, guys. Daily pay. Now we are talking. This has blown FINTOCH 1.0 out of the water, guys. Out of the water. Look at this, guys. Look at this. 450 times 30 days. I've just created $13,500 monthly, passively. And as more and more liquidity is added, even at the VP level. So just imagine there's 250,000 in liquidity over the next 3 to 4 months that comes in. I know individuals who want to do 100K themselves. waiting for the ship to re-emerge, because everyone knew what FTH did over the course of 1 year. Now that the blockchain is live, the Dubai royal family already put their 1 billion in there. We see what's happening in the California office with all of the developers and the management staff there at FinTOCH LLC. We have a major event happening in Singapore. So this is going to a whole new level, guys. But 250,000 times 0.003 at the VP level, 750 USD daily, 750 times 30 days. We're looking at over $20,000. Needless to say, Ardell Joseph has his eye back on VP, because having been at the VP level for only a week before FinTOCH 1.0 exhausted, I saw the vision, and that's the reason why I've decided to step up to the plate, guys. Step up to the plate and really, really show the world what I believe is the best blockchain project in the entire world. Very, very powerful. So I'm going to give you a quick review of Liquidity, right? So if you have your Trust Wallet, firstly, you have to have your 12 seed phrase from your FinTOCH, and you want to import that into Trust Wallet. I've done that for a number of wallets that I have here. Let's assume that I chose the last one on my list. It already has a contract running. It's at the bottom. You see Cake, excuse me, Cake LP, because it's all about liquidity, baby. You got to have liquidity in the system. Liquidity wins the day. You type in PANCAKE, pancake swap.finance. All right. You go to pancakeswap.finance. It's going to launch the Pancake Swap for you. The first step is to connect your wallet. Over here on the right hand side, you're going to connect your wallet. And once you connect your wallet, you're going to trust the Trust Wallet. You're going to make sure that you're selecting the BNB Smart Chain. You connect to it, and now you're in Pancake Swap. If you look at the bottom left, you will notice an icon that says trading. That's where you begin, guys. You click on the trade icon, and then you want to focus on the liquidity. Where do you find liquidity? It's right there next to swap. So this is, of course, for persons who've already added their USDT, a little BNB for gas, and their FTC. We have other tutorials. Look around my YouTube channel. You'll see all the tutorials for how do you actually fund your account and all of these different things. Spend some time on the channel to learn more. So now that we're in liquidity, we press on liquidity right there, and boom, we're in the liquidity space, guys. I have a couple that have already worked for me. It shows I've been testing the percentage. You see that? 1%, 1%. So guys, that was like FinTOCH 1.0, and this is a very small amount. So as you know, we increase the percentages. So I'll click on the V2LP right there at the bottom, and that's one that's already running. It's the FTC USDT LP pair, liquidity pair. That's what it is. It's a liquidity pair that has an LP reward. Look at my reward, guys. My reward, annual percent reward, is 45.95, ladies and gentlemen. So you multiply that by 365 days, if you know how that works. So if I want to go ahead and add another contract, liquidity contract, I'll click that right there and I'll say add. For those of you who are doing it for the first time, just look around the YouTube channel that I have here for how do you get started with adding liquidity. But this is where you get started. Here's a trading pair, and you'll have to click there on the right. I clicked right here where it said hide. For those of you who already had one and you want to add another, and this is where you go to add it. And at the bottom is where you get to see where the values are entered. It'll show you your balances, you know, there. And once you enter the amounts of how much you want to trade, then it's going to proceed for you. So go back to the videos. We've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish here. Go back to the videos to show you how to get set up and get started. And for those of you who are not yet in FinTouch and somehow stumbled upon this video, then you can definitely reach out to me directly, and I can definitely help to get you set up in the system. All team members, please use these videos at your discretion, and let's get your teams back on the winning side. So guys, let's see each other at the top. Again, this is Ardell Joseph of Ardell Joseph Wealth Coaching. I'm signing out.